The Morinville Public Library received some special recognition Sunday, the Minister's Award for Excellence in Public Library Service, an award it won for its genealogy program.
I'm here this afternoon. It's to recognize the town of Morinville's Public Library for attaining the 2011 Minister's Award in Excellence in Public Library Service. I had the pleasure actually a couple weeks ago now in presenting the award to your library manager, Isabel Cramp. Isabel, where are you?
I'm here.
There you go, Isabel. As well as to Joseph Trapani, Joseph and Dallas Cantrell from your board. Dallas, is Dallas here? No, he's not. And that was at the Alberta Libraries Conference, Provincial Libraries Conference in Jasper. And the Morinville Public Library, a member of the Northern Lights Library System, is one of only 2 recipients, and I re-emphasize that, one of only 2 recipients to be honored in the category of excellence this year. Morinville's genealogy at the library program certainly embodies excellence. It excels by allowing patrons to connect with rich family histories. It also builds the community by linking visitors and residents with the town's venerable history and traditions. Through the priceless details of local history, strong partnerships are forming within the community and beyond. Earlier we talked about the fact that this library serves a much larger area than just the town of Morinville itself, and we had a chance to quickly stop in Legal to visit with some folks there, and they use this particular library as well as a source of information. And as Minister of Municipal Affairs, I have also the privilege of representing the Francophone Secretariat in the province of Alberta, the Francophone communities. So I therefore commend the Morinville Library for making a particular effort to document the oral histories of not only the Francophones but also the Aboriginal members of this particular community. And the library's genealogical program is a far-reaching public resource. The library is also working with the Friends of the Library to gather further information to create a play depicting the town's history set to take place during Morinville's centennial year. And clearly the Morinville Public Library saw a need for their residents to connect with the excellence of their heritage. They stepped up to create an exceptional genealogical program that has sparked a sense of unity in the community. Library staff and volunteers have also unified to go above and beyond in sharing knowledge and passion to provide better services for all your patrons.
Sure. There we go.
You're not the only one directed by her, are you?
I can't help.
I love coming to libraries, and I'm going to tell you why, but I'm also going to tell you why Christina's here. She's a former past president of the Alberta Library Trustees Association of Alberta, so when we have a chance to go to libraries, she is always coming with me. This is interesting that you're talking about genealogy today. Less than an hour and a half ago, I was at a birthday party for a lady who's reached 100 years. The birthday party was in Westlock, but she comes from River Kabar, and she was born in the River Kabar area 100 years ago. So genealogy becomes a very fascinating, interesting thing when you consider she not only had children, she had grandchildren, not had, has, she has great-grandchildren, and she has great-great-grandchildren. So that's 5 generations in 100 years, and that's really fascinating. Books, there's something about them. I remember going to university, I gave myself 2 vows. 2 vows. Number 1 is I would read 1 book a week for my whole life. And I pretty much have kept up to that. Some books take more than a week because they may be 1,000 to 1,200 pages, but it's usually a 400 to 700 page book, yeah, one a week. Secondly, when I was still going to university, I made this other promise to myself, that I would buy 10 books a month. That was 43 years ago. I have kept that quota up. And between Christina and I, we have something like 10,000 volumes of books. in our home. And let me tell you, every time we move, if you take an ARC box, you may get 15 books. Maybe get 15 books. That weigh maybe 40 pounds. And so I've really slimmed up and become quite a stealthful kind of person because of that. When Gutenberg invented the printing press, and that was another one of my objectives in life, was to see that original printing press located in Germany. It revolutionized the whole world. During the Dark Ages, the Middle Ages, in essence, the churches became places of refuge and security for people who may have been persecuted or prosecuted by the various authorities. But the libraries, after Gutenberg's first book printing press came about, basically liberated mankind from having to look at texts and documents that were hand-inscripted by people who lived and worked in monasteries for most of their life. There were no billboards, there were no pieces of pamphlet, there were no pieces of paper circulating that allowed everyone to basically have some period of knowledge. Essentially, knowledge was controlled by those who were in authority until that printing press was developed. Once that printing press was developed, the whole world changed. The Renaissance came. In the 16th century, mankind became innovative, became full of energy, became very creative. And that continued for 500 years until less than 30 years ago, when the next revolution and the expansion of knowledge throughout the world, the computer system and the World Wide Web came into play. And now we have knowledge in another form, but still printed, still based here on those machines and libraries that people can access. One of the things that we said that we would do in the province of Alberta, Hector and I and the rest of our colleagues, is number one, was to make sure there would be an internet system everywhere throughout the province of Alberta. And one of the first public offices to be connected to the web in Alberta would be libraries, because libraries will allow anyone on the street who did not have access or ownership of a computer to walk in, find information, and look what's happened only in the last 6 months. In Egypt, in Libya, in Tunisia, there's a democratic movement about the world because knowledge is now available. And that just simply becomes the continuation of the whole library movement. Where we will be in 20 years from now, you can guess. Not a person in this room can tell me what is going to be the engine of information in 20 years from now, because it hasn't been invented yet. But I'm going to stand before you in 20 years from now, and I'm going to have a computer built into my glasses, and everything that I will want to say will pop up in this screen in my glasses by simply me moving my ear or doing something else. And that will become the next wave of the library and the book. But in the meantime, go to bed with that book. It gives comfort. It gives relaxation. It can give warmth. It can give adventure. It can give imagination free flow. It allows for creativity. And, you know, if it's not, well, still pay attention to the person sleeping with you in the bed. But when you wake up in the morning, that book will not be talking back to you, will not be scowling at you, will not be ordering you anything. You'll have a love affair now and forever in the next volume that you get. So, good for you. And Hector, thank you. Good for you for being as enthusiastic about libraries in the provinces as we all want everybody to be. So, well done again.
Thank you.
Well, I don't know. The last time I did this, there were some fingers missing, so Hector, you do it today. I'll just hold it away, brother. Oh, you get in there, okay. Okay, very good.
How's that?
Much. At this time, please stay to continue your business.
Very, very nice.
No doubt it's a big commitment.
Well, it